I don't know. Were you? No.
Speaking. What?
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate it.
Wait a minute. You're not supposed to leave yet.
Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here.
Wait a minute. Hey, where are you going?
I was 31, midwife at the John Radcliffe. I was doing a stint in the antenatal clinic. 3 of my patients miscarried in 1 week. Others were in their 5th and 6th month. Managed to save 2 of the poor babies. Next week, 5 more miscarried. And the miscarriages started happening earlier. I remember booking a woman in for her next appointment and noticing that the page 7 months ahead was completely blank. Not a single name. I rang a friend who was working at Queen Charlotte's and she had no new pregnancies either. She then rang her sister in Sydney. It was the same thing there. You can relax, she's finished. As the sound of the playgrounds faded, the despair set in. Very odd. What happens in a world without children's voices?
Were they vaccinated?
Now you're going to be there at the beginning.
Hurry! Hurry! He's out there! What's going on? He's pulling up one of the calling pins. He? Did my wife? There's a man out there. Listen, keep your voice down. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on here. Will you look? Mr. Woodson, I'm warning you. Will you please look in the name of...
Okay.
All right, I got other things to do. And the other thing is, I don't know if I believe this whole thing, all right? Hunter just had to do a whole court case with this
6
girl's
grandkids,
mom. And,
7 grandkids.
he entered into a big financial settlement with her, and I don't believe a word of it. I mean, if this were all legit, I'd be getting 10%.
Peep on a Mac. She's out yapping away. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 put on the brakes, put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed heifer, right and left-wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, to another version of It's News to Us. And where are we? Who are we? We're in the booth. We have Philo T. Farnsworth, College of Musical Knowledge. You can see his videos at Terry DeFazio on YouTube, his drumming videos. And they're always good. Anyways, you're watching It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news. Hell now, brown cow. Watch us now, as the locals say. We got adult themes and adult language. We cater to everybody, men, women, bat-wangers, paper hangers.
Horn scrapers, rug munchers.
Horn scrapers, yeah.
Rug muncher.
Horn scraper. Somebody told me the horn scraper was like a derogatory comment. And I'll know it isn't. If in the deer hunting parlance or whatever, it means you didn't get anything. It's like track soup. You got nothing. You came home without a deer. Anyways, here's our commander-in-chief. Get off my lawn.
How'd you like that article I sent you with him mumbling and fumbling?
Yeah, it's starting to be noticed. And if we're censored off YouTube, they're finally backing off. And as a matter of fact, I asked Terry to copy it, but he didn't get the email. That was a short one too. There's a judge's decision where he ruled against Biden for censoring everybody. He's censoring YouTube, censoring everybody, and they're going to get in trouble now. You can't do that. You cannot do that. The government cannot censor free speech. And all hail the cadaver-in-chief. And imagine if Trump did that. If Trump tried to censor free speech, they'd be freaking right out. But no, ACLU's been totally silent. And speaking of which, you mad all the time? Really? Angry? Ask your doctor about Angachucks for woodchucks and chuckettes. That's right.
Did you want that other article printed out?
No, I could. We've got enough stuff. Thanks, Terry.
I think we probably do, yes.
Yes. But it's part and parcel of the lawsuit where the attorneys general from Missouri, who ran for Congress and won, either Congress or the Senate. And anyways, he won, and they won the lawsuit too. Missouri and Louisiana had filed suit in the 5th District Court or something, and the judge said it was Orwellian. He said it was like 1984. You can't do this stuff. You can't do it. And
What did they try during the pandemic?
pardon me?
They sure did try it during the pandemic.
Yeah. That was one. He cited that specifically too, for misinformation and other crap. It was crazy. It's crazy, because all this stuff turned out to be true anyways. It's just nuts, man. And
there are still people in denial about the whole thing.
oh yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why there's so many people that are getting back behind Trump. And this was another thing. Biden can't attract flies, man, let alone a crowd. And so they've got, the press was having conniptions over the weekends. They were saying this crowd in a town of 3,400 people in South Carolina, Trump had a crowd of 15,000 people. Well, they were wrong, Terry. You know what? They were wrong. You know how many they were off by?
What's that?
35,000 people. Turns out there was 50,000 people in that crowd. Stella, shut up. And there's nothing in here. Look at the whole article. There's no mention of what he said during his speech, what he planned to do, with these bat-wangers and child molesters and men and women's sports and stuff like that. There isn't a damn thing in here. Nothing about the substance of his speech. And people, look, we're not stupid, okay? People are starting to get it. That the deep state, the World Economic Forum, Klaus friggin' Barbie, what's his name? Klaus
Schwab.
Klaus Schwab, thank you, Philo.
The future is ours.
The future is ours. Klaus Schwab and Fauci and all the rest of these New World Order people are arrayed against us, and they hate Trump and they hate us, and they want us to sit down, shut up, and take our vaccines and do as we're told, and we're not going to do it. And we're going to, if it takes putting Trump back in the office, by Jesus, that's what we'll have to do. I'm sorry if the guy's a blowhard, okay? Teddy Roosevelt was a blowhard. Now, Teddy Roosevelt was such a blowhard that he thought he was so popular he could maintain a third party, which he could not, okay? And that's how we lost to Woodrow Wilson, and that's the deep state friggin' it got bigger and bigger under Woodrow Wilson in World War I. And they actually, there was an anniversary the other day, Philo. Here it is right here. It's Stella, shut up. It's on this day in history from Friday, June 30th. 1918, labor activist and socialist Eugene Debs was arrested in Cleveland, charged under the Espionage Act of 1917. That's one of the charges they want to charge Trump with. How coincidental, Philo. They haven't charged anybody with the Espionage Act, in forever, since forever.
If Trump was as smart as he says he is, he'd shut up.
Yeah,
but he doesn't.
He can't.
He keeps running off at the mouth, and that's what keeps getting him in trouble.
Well, they're after him. They're after him for no good reason. And at this point, I don't care. We've got a friggin' crack addict in the White House. They just found a big bag of blow. They thought it was anthrax or something.
They should have gave it to him to try.
Yeah.
Give it to Hunter. Hey, Hunter, is this anthrax or cocaine?
Yeah, well, maybe one of the agents tasted it or something, because they said that they thought it was coke from the beginning. Anyways, Eugene Debs, who was one of Woodrow Wilson's challengers, for a speech he had made 2 weeks earlier denouncing U.S. involvement in World War I. Debs was sentenced to prison and disenfranchised for life. And they want to do this to Trump. And they're not going to get away with it. We don't care. We'll elect him from jail, all right? Because we don't care, man. We've seen what this jackass has done to the economy, to our global standing in the world. They're talking about nuclear bombs and World War III. I mean, they're out of their friggin' minds, man. It's crazy. And the press is covering up for them. And speaking of which, this is when they started to grow the government way back then. It turns out that the deep state was about roughly 15% of gross domestic product, right? GDP, Philo?
Yeah.
And now, Philo and I, we're older than most of our audience, but we noticed that all our lives this government has grown bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's had more power to unelected officials, which is a direct violation of the Constitution. You're supposed to be able to have power in the hands of the people that you can vote out if you're not happy with. They're not allowed to create an education department and environmental plunder agency, and then have some so-called experts come in and make rulings from on high. No, it's supposed to be done by the Congress. They're the ones that are supposed to do the work, and if we don't like their work, we vote them out every 2 years.
The problem with Congress is they don't have any guts, and they won't declare war. They slough it off on the president. So that way, if it goes bad, they don't have to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Oh no, this was war powers we granted the president. It's on him, you know.
Well, it's a whole new breed of people in there, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, who are coming right out of the chute now, and they're taking up where Bernie left off, and they're saying no, let's make him vote on the war. Let's bring the vote up on the floor.
Yep, because it's a Congress that has to declare war.
Yeah, it's right there in the Constitution. Damn it!
It hasn't been done since World War II.
So anyways, the GDP, the deep state was 15% of the GDP, and you know what it is now, Philo?
But it's about 40.
Yep, exactly, roughly 38%. 38%. 1 out of every 6 people in this country works for the government, either state, local, or federal. And
well, they're not going to get rich off our local government, that's for sure.
Oh no, they're deeply entrenched. They're like down in Montpelier too. They're like ticks. They're burrowed in hard and deep, mister.
Oh yes, they are.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they even had to get some from out of state.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Remember that wacko guy from Lexington that Shumlin brought up, and he said he was gonna. To come up with this unipayer medical policy for the state of Vermont. And they paid him like millions in consulting fees, and he completely blew it.
And you got this guy way over in Irisburg somewhere named Templeman, who never showed up to one legislative breakfast, never shown up to any meetings he's been invited to, nothing. Came out of California, has been here maybe 6 months to a year. And he gets elected because nobody else wants to do it.
It's crazy, man. Oh, look at this. And this was before the rally by Jill Colvin and Lindley Sanders. Yeah, these are Associated Press reporters. So that means they get their marching order from the Democratic Party. And this was a couple days before Trump's 50,000 attendee rally in South Carolina. Trump's GOP support dips. Oh, sure it does. Sure it does. Keep dreaming, Bunky. All right? He knows where all the bodies are buried, and he's going to get in there, and he's going to friggin' clean it up, man. And he's bringing a cleaning crew in there with him like you read about. These people are off the hook, man. They're off the hook. most respondents think the ex-president broke the law. Well, really, most respondents don't actually go on their computer and read the friggin' Presidential Records Act, you know, which says that there's nothing but civil penalties for any records. I mean, what are the people think he's sitting there? Trump's sitting in a back room somewhere, putting memos in a box saying, "Oh, this goes with us. This goes to the archives. This goes with us." No, it's all done by staffers and people from the archives and stuff. It's not done by Trump. Get out of town, man. It's crazy. It's a bunch of hooey, said Faber, 62, who runs an RV park outside of Phoenix. Should he have taken all that stuff home? Maybe not. But other presidents have also taken things home. She noted Biden and Mike Pence were found to have the stuff in their possession, though neither has been accused of trying to conceal them or lying to investigators. Yeah, and especially when Biden didn't have the authority because he wasn't even president. He sneaked the stuff home. And he's got so much of this stuff laying around. It's in boxes near his Corvette. It's in the Penn Center. It's in the top of some Chinese restaurant in Washington, D.C. It's all over the place, man. It's like Hunter's friggin' crack pipe. It's crazy, man. Still, Faber has supported, yet that while she'd be ecstatic to see him return, she'd rather see DeSantis. DeSantis, I don't know, man. I don't like the people that are supporting him. I don't like their ties to China. I don't like their ties to Klaus Schwab, and they have massive ties. Trust me. Look up these guys, all right? Look up the, oh, God. Just go on the interweb and look it up.
He isn't going to have a chance. He's also picked too many fights. For example, he's fighting with Disney now.
Yeah.
And that's not somebody you want to mess with because that's a big part of your economy. Even though technically Disney property is not part of Florida.
Yeah, they got so many sweetheart deals, man.
Yeah. But anyways, he's picked too many fights. I still want to see Robert F. Kennedy Jr. try it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like DeSantis. He's got some great ideas, but he's got all the personality of Latzia's bird's nest.
Yeah, but that's even 10 times better than Pence.
Yeah. Oh man, Pence. My God, Pence doesn't have a hope in hell. Who is he trying to fool? Same with Nikki Haley. Steve Bannon calls them the Keebler elves, man. They have the little elf shoes with the curled toes and the bells and the little elf hats, you know.
Listening to Pence is like watching paint dry.
Oh my God.
Actually, I think I'd rather watch the paint.
Yeah. And it's worse with Chris Christie. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, but at least, you know, with Chris Christie, you can cringe. I mean, with Pence, there's nothing there. You know, nothing.
Yeah, they're men of the sea, they're men of the air. Don't try to find them, they're just not there. It's just not there. And here it is too. We had some great Supreme Court decisions. One I didn't like. Okay, they screwed up in the ruling where they said that that the federal government has jurisdiction over electors. No, they don't. If that was a bad decision. The Constitution says that local electors and elections and stuff should be done by local representatives. But anyways, the good ones was race can't be a factor. That's right. Africanative action is over, man. It's over. Yeah, you want to get your ass into college? You got to study and and get good grades and stuff.
Affirmative action.
Yeah, I called it Africanative action.
Well, could be.
It's crazy, you know. And they did it. I mean, they used to do it in the old days in the 1920s to keep the Jews out. Because back then, I mean, you know, before they really got assimilated, the Jews would impress upon their kids that, you know, you got to study hard, man, and be a dentist, or be a doctor, or a lawyer. You know, you don't want to be a butcher all your life. But, you know, now the Asians have taken up the slack where the Jews used to, and other groups used to do, because that's the way it is. You know, I mean, I was lucky. I had almost a photographic memory when I was a kid. I could do my homework on the bus, except for math. I sucked at math. But I got away with it real easy, and it was no problem. But, you know.
You must have been halfway decent at math because you worked in a machine shop. You
Yeah.
know something about it.
Fortunately, Philo, handheld calculators came out right when I graduated from high school. If not for the friggin' Texas Instruments, man, I would have been dead in the water, all right? And that and the Machinery's Handbook, because the Machinery's Handbook, as anybody will tell you, it's like a Bible. It's as thick as a Bible. And like Albert Ashton used to say, Geronimo, this book will tell you how to do everything except mix cement. And it's true, man. It had the strength of every material, including wood, leather, just strength of materials of everything. And then it had the trig tables, all your geometry shortcuts and trigonometry shortcuts, and you know, and once you get out of trade school, when you go to do your apprenticeship, the old guys would teach you shortcuts, Philo. They'd teach you shortcuts on how to get stuff done. It was a lot easier. So you all be free now, man. That's it. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote in the dissent, the decision rolls back decades of precedent in momentous progress. So Sonia Sotomayor, she calls herself a wise Latina. No, she's no wise Latina. She's a dumbass. She didn't know the difference between de jure and de facto, Philo. A Supreme Court justice. I mean, you know, come on, man. Try the soup du jour. I had it yesterday. It was fantastic. You don't know the difference between de jure and de facto? What? In this other one, Jumanji Jackson Brown, she's just as bad or worse. That woman's so dumb she couldn't even, she was so dodgy, she wouldn't even explain what a woman is. It's like, in what context?
None of them can now. As a matter of fact, they're even going, well, you know, if you don't have a uterus, you can't tell women what to do. And now they're saying, well, there's a man who wants to be a woman, but it's okay, he can be a woman even though he doesn't have a uterus. So they've created a lovely catch-22 that they can't even explain.
Oh, man. Oh, it's easy. A woman is a person who will never let you forget a mistake you made within months after when you first got married.
Yes.
That's the easiest definition I can think of. Yeah, let's see. Blah, blah, yeah, the Ivy League students, non-white. And here's the other thing, too. They'll always find ways for these weasels to get in through their legacy students. You think they're going to stop people like, George Bush's kids from getting into these universities and stuff?
Actually, Yale did it. The last year that the year that George W. was legacied was the last year Yale legacied.
No kidding.
No joke. I looked it up.
I'll be a monkey's eye.
He learned them really good. He did. He learned them good.
I learned them good, mister. Yep, we found that.
He didn't even want to tell people he went to Yale. He wanted to tell people to think he was from Texas.
Well, that too, but he did get his undergraduate degree in Harvard.
Was it Harvard? I thought it was Yale.
No, well, his first degree was at Yale, and he got into Skull and Bones. And then his business degree he got in Harvard. I'd almost bet money on it.
I think so. Yeah, but the undergrad was Yale.
Yes, first school he went to.
And then he did so good, he lost money on every business venture he went into, including the Texas Rangers baseball team.
That's pretty good.
Boy, that is amazing.
That's pretty good.
That's our president, by gosh.
Oh, and here's, get this, Philo. This is from, what do you call it? the Sunday paper, right? In the crossword, puzzle, and TV sections, right?
Yep.
It's like, this kills me. What's on TV tonight or whatever, right? Tough as Nails, CBS, 8 p.m., season premiere. Phil Keegan is back as a host of this reality competition series. The season is filmed in Hamilton, Ontario, and features essential workers from both the U.S. and Canada who are ready to test their strength, endurance, life skills, mental toughness, and challenges that take place in real-world scenarios. Philo, what is an essential worker? Haven't we learned anything?
Carpenters, construction workers, plumbers.
They don't say.
I've been to Hamilton, Ontario several times, and that's a very blue-collar town.
Yeah. Yep, Tough as Nails, filmed in Hamilton, and features essential workers from U.S. and Canada, ready to test their strength, endurance, and crap. Essential workers, yeah, oh, please. Oh, and get this, Philo. We talk about how the press is a cheerleader for the Biden crime syndicate, right?
Well, they were at the election, that's for sure.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. I won't even read this, all right? We're supposed to believe this, Philo.
Inflation is not only drain on, that's not even a good sentence.
Well, that too, yeah.
It's not the only drain, is what they should have said.
Yeah.
Was that the Burlington Free Press?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Well, this is from an AP article, USA Today. Inflation is not the only drain on benefits. Really? So, even though your money is worth 10% less every year, it's not the only drain. Come on, it could be worse. We could have Trump in there and his nasty tweets. This is insane. Taxes also cut into Social Security checks because guess what? Every time you get a raise, you get bumped up into another bracket. Stella, shut up. Quiet. It's crazy. If you feel like your Social Security benefits aren't going very far, despite big COLAs for the past few years, there's a reason for it. And inflation's only part of it. The government adjusts many things. Tax brackets, contribution limits, the size of deductions, blah, blah, blah. But one thing that's never been adjusted for inflation is the federal income threshold to determine if you'll have to pay taxes on your SS benefit. That means each passing year, an increasing proportion of seniors have been reaching those low thresholds and having to pay taxes on their benefits.
And who gave us those taxes?
Reagan.
Reagan. Unemployment and Social Security taxed. Thank you, Mr. Reagan.
Rat bastards.
Senile old fool with what was it? Alzheimer's. He had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have got it passed without the help of Flip O'Neill, Philo.
Yep, I know.
They had both houses of Congress.
Well, he had a Republican one of the houses once.
Yeah, for the first term.
Then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And, here we are. This is from
they're all
today.
dirty.
This is from today's paper, which is my birthday, by the way. Happy birthday to me.
29, right?
Yeah, like Jack Benny. Philadelphia shooter kills 5, seemingly at random. The guy's a renegade Negro with an AR-15, and they're trying to make it out like it's. Of course, they go after the rifle because it's an ugly rifle, right, Philo?
Yeah.
What the hell? But anyways, Russia claims to foil drone attack. Well, wait. Every now and then, it's like the old Grateful Dead song. Scarlet Begonias. Once in a while you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. Well, sure enough, here in this article, they mention the SCO, or the Shanghai Cooperative Organization. Now, what is the SCO, Philo, you may be asking, right?
I never heard of that.
Well, remember I told you how the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and the other ones, they were getting together to make like a gold-backed currency or something like that, like Gaddafi was going to do.
Yeah, like Gaddafi was going to do, sure.
Yeah, to ditch the dollar, right? And I told you they were going to meet in Durban, South Africa, pretty soon, right, Philo?
Yep.
Well, sure enough, we never heard anything more about it because, Lord knows you got to go digging for any real news. Well, sure enough, here it is right here. Let's see. In all, Ukraine's presidential office reported Tuesday at least several Ukrainian civilians are killed and 35 others injured in the fighting over the previous 24 hours. Putin referred to the recent mercenary rebellion that rattled the Kremlin during a video call Tuesday with leaders of the countries of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO, which is a security grouping dominated by Moscow and Peking. No, wait, you think you've seen inflation now? Okay. Now that Biden has taken us off the dollar and has put us on these stupid solar panels and got us onto friggin' battery power, so we're buying solar panels and batteries from China, and we're not digging up any energy in our own friggin' backyard, okay? These people are saying, look, the United States is just printing up more money, worthless money. We're going to have to come up with our own currency. The dollar is no longer going to be the world reserve currency. And we've been bitching about this for the past year or two since Biden got elected, right? Well, sure enough, here we go. And I'll tell you, once these dollars come home, you think inflation is bad now, Philo, right? Once the whole world realizes that there's another currency that they can use, that we keep devaluing the dollar, and this SCO money starts flooding, starts coming out. Once that the dollars start coming home, you ain't seen nothing yet. Gas is going to be like $10 a gallon. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you won't believe what's coming, boys and girls. And if we had Trump in there, we'd be pumping out oil and gas right now, and we'd be making some friggin' money. And don't get me going. Putin said that Russian political circles, the entire society, have shown unity and responsibility for the fate of motherland by putting up united front against attempted mutiny. He thanked SCO members. He thanked Shanghai Cooperation Organization members for what he described as support during uprising. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said United Front thwarted Prigozhin's mutiny. He said Monday that it failed primarily because armed forces personnel remained loyal to the military oath and duty. He said uprising had no impact on war in Ukraine. In contrast, Prigozhin said he had the public's backing for his march of justice towards Moscow. Meanwhile, Russia's foreign minister said Tuesday it saw no grounds to extend a deal that has allowed the Ukraine to ship grain through the Black Sea to parts of the world struggling with hunger. People are starving in Africa because we won't let them, Russia ship out fertilizer or grain, all right? We are starving people. You feel better, boys and girls, that we're starving a third world in Africa? Unbelievable. Meanwhile, let's see, in contrast, the March for Justice. Let's see, the statement came less than 2 weeks before the expiration of the agreement, which was extended for 2 months in May. Moscow says a separate agreement with the United Nations to overcome obstacles to shipment of its fertilizers has not produced results. You think? And one of the clips Philo's putting in here is Biden going off on one of the reporters about the Afghanis. We told you, he does this Clint Eastwood thing where he says, read your press, man. The Taliban said they were going to be in control, and the Taliban is in control. Yeah, well, they're in control, right? Guess what they're doing now, Philo?
Yeah, and we helped them.
Yeah, they're outlawing beauty salons.
They're outlawing college for girls.
Oh, yeah. Well, the education is probably more important than the beauty salons, because who's going to be able to see you in that blue beekeeping suit? You know what I mean? Except a bee or two that gets under the hood.
They were freedom fighters, according to Reagan. They were freedom fighters. Oh yes.
Yeah. If
My
firefighters fight fire.
My friend Dick Roberts told me way back. He said, "Listen, these people that are fighting with the Russians, the Soviets," he said, "they're no better." And of course we didn't know who they were. I didn't know who they were. Now we sure do, don't we?
Oh yeah.
What a brilliant thing you did, Mr. Reagan.
Watch that Tom Hanks movie, Charlie Wilson's War, with Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts, man. It's crazy good. But yeah, it's like that song by The Call. We've had it on the show before. There ain't no Russians and there ain't no Yanks, just corporate criminals playing with tanks. In the latest curb on rights and freedoms of women and girls, the following edicts barring them from education, public spaces, and most forms of employment. A spokesman for the Taliban-run Virtue and Vice Ministry, Mohammed Sadiq Akif Mahar, didn't give details on the ban. He only confirmed the contents of a letter circulating on social media. The ministry issued a letter dated June 24th, said it conveys a verbal order from the Supreme Leader, Habibullah Akhundzada. Habibullah Akhundzada, Habibullah Akhundzada. You're gonna ride the rails and you cannot paint your nails. Oh man. The ban targets the capital, Kabul, and all provinces, and gives salons throughout the country a month's notice to wind down their businesses. After that period, they must close and submit a report about their closure. The letter doesn't give reasons for the ban, Philo. We got to listen to old Abazula.
We know what the reason is. It's the Quran.
Oh yeah.
And other books they're similar to.
Yeah, the Hadiths and the Surahs. If you read the Quran is just the storybook from the shortest story to the longest story. That's all it is. You have to read it along with the Hadiths and the Surahs. And those are funny, man. Those are funny. Oh, Muhammad, he doesn't like snakes. He doesn't like dogs. Oh, and boy, does he have a Woody for the Jews like you read about, mister. Hey, and guess what, Philo?
What's that?
Fukushima has been okayed by the nuclear agency to start dumping radioactive water into the Pacific.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. Remember we told you the Environmental Plunder Agency and the United Nations and these so-called environmental groups that Trump pulled us out of because they don't actually do anything for the environment, Philo?
Yep.
We told you that their motto, over and over and over again, okay? This is all you got to remember with these jackasses, is the solution to pollution is dilution, okay? Now, over here in Burlington, the beaches used to close in August, September, when the water was warm. Guess what, Philo? This year they're closed now. They were closed in June for toxic algae blooms, cyanobacteria that will kill dogs and children if they drink it. And Deb Markowitz changed the E. coli levels from 70. Vermont's levels were 77 per thousand, and Deb Markowitz, Peter Shumlin's little fairy dust girl, gets in there, and she changed it to the U.S. standards from 77 to 235, Philo.
Yep.
Yeah, what a nice girl, huh? Hey, she's a princess. Yeah, sure. The UN Nuclear Agency gave its endorsement to Japan's planned release of treated Philo. You know what that means, treated? It means it's been sitting around and mixed with fresh seawater. That's how they treat it, Philo. How clever, huh? Tuesday, they treated radioactive water into the sea from the Fukushima nuclear plant saying it meets international standards and its environmental and health impact would be negligible. The plan is opposed by South Korea, China, and some Pacific Island nations because of safety concerns and political reasons. Yeah, really, you think? Anyone seen the movie Godzilla with Raymond Burr?
I've
Remember?
seen so many Godzilla movies, it isn't funny.
Well, this was the first one before he became Perry Mason, man.
Oh, okay, that's way back there.
Yeah, 1956. Yeah, Godzilla. That's what happened. That's what happened, man. That's where Godzilla came from. Yeah, sure. Rafael Mariano Grossi, the head of the IAEA, submitted his final assessment of the plan to Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Tuesday. Report is comprehensive, neutral, objective, scientifically sound evaluation. We are very confident about it. Now, here's another thing. I got into an argument with Mayor Mamey, the mayor of Newport, Philo.
Former mayor, yes.
Yeah, well, he was mayor at the time, exactly. Because the earthquake happened in like 2011, and he's telling me, well, they didn't know. They didn't know, that it was gonna, the waves were gonna come up that high. And I'm all like, what are you kidding me? They have all along the coast of Japan, on every frickin' island, Philo, they have these high water stones. They're called ancestor stones, right? For my viewer out there, look them up. They're called ancestor stones, and they were left by people 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 15. We don't know how old some of them are because it's hard to date rock, right, Philo?
Yeah.
These stones, they say right on them, do not build below this stone, okay? This stone is a high water mark for, the tsunamis. Do not build anything below this stone. And what did they do? Hey, we haven't had any tsunamis in like 100 years, Philo. This looks like valuable real estate to me. Let's build below the ancestor stones. The report says that IAEA recognizes the discharge has raised societal, political, and environmental concerns associated with the radiological aspects. However, it concluded that the water release, as currently planned, will have a negligible radiological impact on people and the environment. Right. Then you take a bath in it, Mr. Rafael Grossi. You think he'd do that, Philo?
Why, certainly.
Oh no, he's back in his apartment in friggin' Turin or Rome. He ain't gonna be jumping in no Fukushima water. Japan's the plan and the equipment for the discharge are in conformity with the agreed international standards and its application, Grossi said. He said the dilution of the treated but still slightly radioactive wastewater for gradual release into the sea was a proven method widely used in other countries. Oh, really? Widely used in other countries, Philo? Like whom, you ask? Well, including China, South Korea, the United States, and France, to dispose of water containing certain radionucleotides from nuclear plants. Why haven't we been told about these releases, Philo?
I don't have any idea, but I assume there must be a good reason.
Well, did I tell you about the new lobsters they got up at Shaw's with 18 claws?
No, I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, yeah. They get them right near the discharge pipe from Seabrook.
Oh, yeah, I remember that place.
Yeah, no problem, man. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Just water it down, boys and girls. Here it is, too. Here it is, right like I was saying. Burlington Beach closures happening earlier. Oh, really? And it made the front page, Philo. Thanks. Yeah, Deb Markowitz. Yeah, do good, Debbie. You just changed the standards, that's all.
Isn't it interesting that all those snowflakes over there are so big on the environment and their electric cars and all that, yet they polluted the heck out of their own lake with their microbreweries?
The microbreweries, liquid crap, changing the standards, you name it, they've done it, Philo.
Oh, good old Boylington.
Yeah, ANR. We joke up here that the Agency of Natural Resources, ANR stands for Agency of No Response.
Yep.
Because that's who they are,
Or
man.
no reply, either way.
Oh, his side effects. Gene therapy to treat severe hemophilia. This might work for me. I'm hoping this works out in the future, Philo.
Yeah.
Because my platelets are so friggin' low, as anyone can attest to. I was out, what do you call it? Doing pick-a bushes, basically cleaning up the pick-a bushes by blackberries, Philo. And between the pickers and the mayflies, man, every place I got bit by a mayfly or I got picked by one of the thorns, this friggin' I get these red welts, man. It looks like I've got some kind of AIDS or something. It's nasty, it really is. But you know, you go on the interweb and you look up Markowitz changing the standard, Philo,
Yeah.
and you can't find it anymore.
Nope, of course not.
It's like, what the hell happened to that? How did that happen, man? How did that happen? Oh, man. There's a great website called Omega for America. Omega, 4, America.com by Jay Valentine. He's with the Gateway Pundit and stuff. And he's been doing fractal programming on these voter rolls and voter machines, right?
Yeah.
Because they did fractal programming. He used to work for companies like eBay and stuff to make sure they weren't being defrauded and people weren't sneaking by their bidding process and stuff like that at auctions.
Yep.
And he's compiled a great report, man. He talks about the comparing the property tax rolls to the voter rolls. And there's no unit numbers, there's no ballots allowed, and they're registering people like Acorn, yet they never vote, and the names and data are being used for the ballots. It's crazy. He has a great article on AmericanThinker.com. His name is Jay Valentine, Jay Valentine, at the Gateway Pundit and AmericanThinker.com. You have to see it, boys and girls. You have to, because these machines can't be trusted, and that's the thing. I asked Philo to print this up. I'm going to have some homework for next week, but I'll have it done, boys and girls, because see, I couldn't even mention the voting machines, or I'd be bounced off a blue tube until recently.
Yeah, they bounced a couple of my videos, and maybe I'm going to try another AC/DC song, and maybe I'll get this one through. But if not, I'll just go back to Rumble. I don't care.
Yeah. Now, so many more people have access to YouTube, though.
That's true.
Look at this is from Thursday's paper, June 29th. Smoke from Canadian fires blankets the U.S. Oh, Canada. Duh, 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 duh. Hey, get your stuff together up there, Pierre, all right? There's plenty of water. We've had a wet spring. I read this article, Philo, and it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make friggin' sense.
Well, actually, we can't blame Pierre for this one, because this one came from Ontario.
Yeah, in the eastern provinces too. He could be up there. They finally got some people into Quebec after a month and a half. This stuff's been burning for a month and a half before they finally got some helicopters in there.
Yep. Well, you know, they got to fight off the Russian hockey players.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, here we are. The court rejects novel legislative theory. It's not a novel legislative theory. It's called the Constitution, you idiots. But, you know, hey, you win some, you lose some. And here we are. You think now we're going to get hammered again, because not only do we have stagflation, boys and girls, but part of that stagflation is inflation, which means property tax values are going up, and they're going to double and triple. So even though your income's not going up, that's the stag part. The deflation part is very real, and that's going to affect everything. We've been through this before in the 70s, man. Vermont town to let 16 and 17-year-old pissabeds vote in local elections.
Yeah, that's good old Brattleboro.
Yes, my mother used to call them pissabeds. The pissabeds are coming.
Well,
The
I think it's
pissabeds.
because Brattleboro doesn't want Burlington to be more liberal than they are.
Yeah, it's like a contest, isn't it?
Oh, there's two of them. I wouldn't give you 2 cents for either place.
Oh, and here we are too, man. This kills me. You know, I swear we're getting punked here. This was from, what the hell is it? This is from Sunday, July 2nd. So it came out on Saturday. So they didn't file the article until probably Thursday or Friday of last week, right? It says, Russian general said to be detained, Philo. Yeah, a Russian general said to be detained. Really? Well, you know what? Bigfoot has been said to be real, too. I've even seen the plaster cast of his footprint, Philo.
Okay, last but not least.
Last but not least, it's crazy. All right, here we are. We are getting punked, man. We are getting punked. Mountain areas see extreme rain, yet right below the header, it says phenomenon worsens flooding and water shortages. Well, wait a minute. If you're getting extreme rain, Philo, how can you be having water shortages? Am I missing something here?
Nope, doesn't matter, I guess, does it?
I swear they're trying to get us to believe anything. Yeah, Biden's a great president. Yeah, Biden economics are great for the country. Well, once again, you wasted a perfect good hour of your life watching this stupid show. Never mind the yappy dog. So hopefully we'll see you again next week, inshallah. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees. In the men-only mosques, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you. Head east pray towards Mecca, the meteorite in Mecca, and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Snakbar, Allahu Open Bar, Akbar.
I would call for you and your son's Chinese shakedown text message. Were you sitting there? Were you involved? Were you involved? Were you? No.
Speaking. What?
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Oh, I
much.
appreciate
Great to
it.
have
Wait a
you.
minute,
So
wait a
good to have you.
minute.
Thank
You're
you.
not supposed to leave yet.
Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here.
Wait a minute.
We'll
Hey,
have
where are you
reaction.
going?
I was 31, midwife at John Radcliffe. Was doing a stint in the antenatal clinic. 3 of my patients miscarried in 1 week. Others were in their 5th and 6th month. Managed to save 2 of the poor babies. Next week, 5 more miscarried. And the miscarriages started happening earlier. I remember booking a woman in for her next appointment and noticing that the page 7 months ahead was completely blank. Not a single name. I rang a friend who was working at Queen Charlotte's and she had no new pregnancies either. She then rang her sister in Sydney. And it was the same thing there. You can relax, she finished. As the sound of the playgrounds faded, the despair set in. Very odd. What happens in the world without children's voices?
Were they vaccinated?
Now you're going to be there at the beginning.
Hurry! Hurry! He's out there! going on? He's pulling up one of the calendars. He did my wife. There's a man out there. Listen, keep your voice down. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on here. Will you look? Mr. Wilson, I'm warning you. Will you please look in the name of...
Okay.
All right, I got other things to do. And the other thing is, I don't know if I believe this whole thing, all right? Hunter just had to do a whole court case with this
6
girl's mom,
grandkids,
and
7 grandkids.
he entered into a big financial settlement with her, and I don't believe a word of it. I mean, if this were all legit, I'd be getting 10%.